Good Thursday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks. One day into what are we in now? The Spanish, we're in the Spanish Rep Civil War, maybe. I don't know. We in the taking of Austria. I don't know. But a guy who does know, because I have it on good authority, he was not arrested at a school board meeting on Tuesday night. Galen Udall joins us from Life South. Galen, you didn't have to bail yourself out of jail or anything Tuesday night, right?
No, and yeah, I don't know what it would take for me to get that fired up. But yeah, I mean, come on, look at the story.
Well, all you'd have to do is try to walk up on the stage, uninvited towards your elected officials when they repeatedly tell you not to, and then you get in a screaming match out in the lobby trying to disrupt the meeting. So the Ocala police are called. You're taken to jail. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Again, you're never going to get anything accomplished with that group of individuals by yelling at them.
No.
And I mean, I will say the school board is political. It's always been political. It just has. It won't. That's not going to change anytime soon. But I do not like the fact that basically the Florida Republican National Committee appointed somebody to the board. I did not like that at all.
Yeah, the REC suggested that.
Whoever the heck it is.
The governor appointed him.
Who gave the most money? Who gave the most money?
No, stop. That has nothing to do with it.
Oh, and he wants the job?
It's a part-time job, though. Wait. Nobody told him it was a part-time job. Nobody told him it was a full-time job. It just was supposed to be a part-time job.
You know the school board's doing everything right when you don't hear anything.
Here's the crazy thing. Man, I miss Nancy Stacy.
Well, no, you don't.
No, I really don't. I really don't.
But I mean, that's almost funny. Yeah, I mean, are you sure a school doesn't need a roof? You sure we can't get Donnell another roof?
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Tuesday night, a woman approached the lectern during public comment. And then she proceeded to read all these criminal charges against 4 of the 5 school board members, leaving Don Browning out. And then she went on to say how they were criminal and this, blah, 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 blah. And whether you like that I say blah, blah, blah or not, I don't care. It says Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt. So if you don't like it, Tom at WOCA. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's going to get you a long way these days, Tom at WOCA.com. So they did their rhetoric. And then after her speech was over, she ended it with, "You've been served," like a mic drop. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And then she tried, I think she was 89, maybe 103. I don't know how old she was, but she looked to be about 103. Then she tried to get up on stage to serve the papers to everybody she had just ridiculed. That wasn't going to happen. The lawyer told her, "You've done this the wrong way," and he gave the Florida statute, and she goes, "I don't have to listen to the law," blah, blah, blah. So then Eric Cummings asked McPatton, who is in charge of security for the school, to come get the lady out, away from the stage. So her and Don Browning's driver. Oh yeah, wait. Don Browning's driver, a school board member's driver, was involved in this ridiculousness. Had to be taken out of the room, and subsequently there was a dust up in the lobby area, and one of the people had to be taken to jail by the Ocala Police Department because they were serving notice to everybody except Don Browning, and they kept making sure you knew not Don Browning. He's too good. He's a good guy. Don Browning is a good guy. I mean, he's got, tractors to restore, and he's got a airline, his fetish with aviation to take care of, and then he's got a race team he's got to work on the weekend, so he can't have a full-time job like school board. He was to understand he just had to show up to the meetings. It was a part-time job, but he's a good guy. And so everything that was thrown at the school board, Don Browning didn't have anything to do with it. It was all criminal by the other 4 members. And then she tried to force her way on the stage, and somebody went to jail.
There you go.
Let me tell you something. You try to. I am part of the Marion County Historical Commission, right? We hold meetings the second Monday of every month over next to the library, at the extension office next to the library, right? And
you still talking about the movie theater, Marion Theater?
No. Next to the library, where the library is, right the end of the building, where permits and all are. There's an auditorium right at the end of that building, and we hold our meetings in there. Let me tell you something. You come in there, you spew vile stuff at me, and then you try to walk up to where we're set up as members of that board and try to serve papers or throw papers at me and something. You better hope somebody like McPatton and the Ocala Police Department are there, because somebody's going to jail that night, and it's probably going to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, the audacity of people, and I mean, look, I understand that Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies wanted to be heard. I get that. I understand that. But Granny, you were heard. Now sit down. Shut up. All you're doing is spouting how great Don Browning is anyway. And look, the school board has many faults. Do not ever think that I don't think the school board has many faults. But there's a proper way to address those faults, and there's a proper way to deal with that. And the way that lady did it Tuesday night wasn't the proper way. I'm off my high horse now.
All right.
It aggravates the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just letting you unwind. There you go.
Well, you firmly believe that if that happened in a meeting I was sitting on the board of, somebody else would have went to jail that night.
Yeah,
anybody that knows me knows I have a slush fund. See, I have my living fund for my wife and I that we have, and then I have a slush fund to the side that's just in my name, just in case I need bail money.
Something to be proud of.
It's the life I've led, Galen. You got to be prepared for all situations.
Absolutely.
And I know my mentality. You piss me off enough, I may need bail money.
There you go.
You got to know you, Galen. That's all I'm saying. You got to know you.
I'm with you. This is your path walking on.
And I'm not calling you to bail me out, because you'd be like, you have a collect call from an inmate at the Marion County Jail. Tom Schmitz. No.
No.
You wouldn't even say no. You just hang the phone up.
Yeah, that's right. We talk about it in the morning.
Yeah, there'd be no. The phone would just go dead.
Yeah, when you're not calling on the show, I'm like, oh, he got arrested. That's not usually my first thought.
It would be mine if I was in your shoes.
That's correct.
Correct. People say, Tom, aren't you embarrassed about how many times you've been arrested? Nah. That was, it's one of those things.
Like you get over it.
It's one of those things. You just, look, sometimes you're stupid. I've just been stupid more times than most people.
You should be the defense ministry for the Ukraine. Maybe then they'd fight.
Don't get me started on that. There's so much that I got to talk about that today. The parallels. I went back and just looked at certain areas of the rise and fall of the Third Reich by William Shire.
Yeah.
And I could draw so many heavy parallels.
Well, you can't with everything. You could have drawn parallels between what we did with the drug cartels in the 80s with Reagan. I don't think this. I don't know. It'll all depend on how the world reacts. So far,
the world's reacted saying.
Russian assets.
So far, the world's reacted by going bad Putin, bad Putin.
That's correct. I mean, and if you don't think that Putin was ready for all of these, because they warned him, right? I mean, Biden laid out and gave him all the sanctions. And by the way, they're not all going to pass. You know why? Because China can just say, no, we're not going to do that. Done. Over. This is. How
about this guy? How about this guy that's the president of the United States, supposedly the leader of the free world? Russia last night at 10 p.m. our time, 5 a.m. Ukrainian time, attacks Kiev, bombs Kiev and everything. The first time we're going to hear from Joe Biden, he's going to address the nation sometime this afternoon. Because, it's so important that he'll wait till this afternoon sometime.
If you know anything about people with dementia and Alzheimer's, each individual has a peak time, and it's
And his
obvious
seems to
they
be
have
middle of the
figured out-
afternoon. His seems to be between
That's
2
correct.
and 4.
That's correct. Yeah, and everything he does, his entire public appearance
Will be
schedule
between 2 and
is
5 p.m.
around there.
Yeah.
That's correct. And then he sunsets, and that's where we're at with this president. So, but I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know what the answer to this is. The solution was really, 12 years ago, when Biden, when Obama tested the water, Putin tested the waters against Obama, and Obama flinched, right? And then again, he tested the waters with in the Middle East, and
with Syria, yeah,
green line,
yeah,
right? In Syria, went past the green line, and Obama did nothing after he said no.
Well, when he took the Crimea in 2013, and Obama did nothing.
Oh, that was the next level.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, we need to take a break real quick. We'll be back more with Galen after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Galen from Life South is on the phone with us. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and JustShip.net. Hey, if you want to give me any feedback on anything we talk about on the show, Tom at WOCA.com is the place to send all your positive emails, your negative emails, your fluff emails, your goofy emails, whatever you want to send me. I read them and try to answer them. But if you send me complete stupidity, well, you might get complete stupidity back. Galen, we were talking about the invasion of the Ukraine last night, and here's a parallel I want to draw for you. In Austria, in 1937, 38, right around in 36, I don't have the dates exactly in my head, but in Austria, Hitler went in and saved a small area of Austria, and he said he was doing it because they were independent Germans that he didn't want to subject to what was going on in Austria at the time, and the way the Western world or the Allied world had murkied the water. So he went in, he took those areas. When he didn't get any pushback Then he just took all of Austria under the guise of there are so many German people there that are being genocide, that there's genocide going against them and everything. I had to step in and protect them. Doesn't that sound exactly like what Putin said last night about he went in 3 days ago, took over the independent lands, he said, because he had to protect Russian-speaking people. And now when the world didn't do anything to him for doing that inside the Ukrainian borders, now he does an all-out attack on the Ukraine.
Well, he did it to Crimea first, and I mean the world.
Well, yeah, but they did it. But Hitler did it to Rhineland and the Sudetenland before he did it to Austria.
Let me ask you this. All right, let's say that. Again, I think anytime you compare anything to Hitler, you can no longer have an argument, or you can't even have a conversation, right? Because of the end result and who Hitler was and what he did. You got to take that comparison off the table if we're going to have a conversation.
But you can't.
Right?
No, history shows that it's almost a mirror image.
No, it is not. History doesn't show that. If you pick and choose history, it does. But let's, for the sake of argument, right? Because if not, then we can't even conversate.
Right.
We should do a full-on invasion of Russia, right? And spend, let's see, in today's day and time, 50 million lives for the Ukraine. Let me ask you this. Let's take your comparison off the table. What are you, Tom Schmitz, as an American in Ocala, Florida, willing to give up for the Ukrainian people?
See, to me, this isn't about the Ukrainian people. To me,
this
is about a madman. This is about a madman who's trying to, once again, reinstal the USSR, and we're allowing him to do it one piece of land at a time. And we already have a blueprint for what happens when you let a madman do that unchecked.
You can't do that. You mean like the madman, like Woodrow Wilson?
How was Woodrow Wilson? Explain to me Woodrow Wilson taking chunks of the world as a madman.
Sorry. I mean, what about our the Alamo, and we wanted to take over Mexico? And I mean, you go throughout the history of the world, and there have been countries that have.
John Tyler was wrong. John Tyler was wrong, and so was Polk for what they wanted to do. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that. You're right. They were two men that did land grabs, without a doubt.
All right. So let me ask you this, and this is the important question, and you can't sidestep it by blaming Hitler. What are you willing to do to stop Putin?
Whatever means necessary.
Okay, so you're going to, let's just assume, right? Because yesterday, I thought this was ironic as heck. Yesterday, my son he got his letter from the federal government saying he had to enlist for the, whatever that thing.
The draft, yeah.
The draft.
Selective service. Selective service.
Yeah, selective service, right? And he goes, Dad, what is this? I said, and this is what I literally said. When Putin invades Ukraine, and they can draft you. That's what it means. So are you willing to send our treasure of our planet, our people of our country, to save the Ukrainians?
No, I'm willing to send our people. I'm willing to send our people to save the world as we know it. And Putin doesn't want to do that.
All right. So let's talk about that. What actually takes? I don't know if you know how large.
Yeah, I know exactly.
The Russian army really.
I know exactly. It's right? It's the second largest army. It's the second largest army that there is after the Chinese army.
Well, and let's remember, who are they backed up by?
Nah, the Chinese aren't near solid in their background as you think they are.
Oh,
because
boy.
the Chinese tied too much.
Yes, they are.
Galen, the Chinese are tied too much into the world economy to give up the world economy just to help Russia.
No.
Yes. Don't do Galen, you're talking out of your rear end now.
Okay.
China is geared. China is entwined in the world economy. Yes.
Okay. Of course they are. Everybody is.
So they're not going to give up their spot in the world economy. No, sanctions are not going to work. But China's not going to give up their area in the world economy just to back Putin.
Okay.
They're not going to do it.
All right. I'm going to give you an example. And nobody cared. What's the difference between Hong Kong and Ukraine?
One's a city and one's a country.
No, actually, it's a city-state. It's a country. Hong Kong for a long time was a country, and they had freedoms, they had democracy, they had their own politicians, and then China, over time and through diplomatic means, said, you know what, Hong Kong actually belongs to us. It was illegally taken after World War II by the English. We want it back. Now, also remember, China wants Taiwan. They want Taiwan back.
And we should stop that at all cost.
And they want Tibet. So now, again, if you want to make the World War II comparison with Axis and Allies, so now you've got these two massive militaries forming together. And then when you bring in China, you're going to bring in all these Latin American countries that have made billions of dollars off of China. And now you've got a world war. And I ask you this, Tom, is it worth it to save the Ukraine?
Okay, here's my answer to that. Is it worth it to wait till the situation gets much worse, and then we end up in the same situation we'd end up in anyway? Because that's where we're headed. He's not going to stop with the Ukraine. Then it's going to be Latvia, and it's going to be Estonia, and then it's going to be Lithuania. Then it's going to be the old Yugoslavia. Then it's going to be the Serbs, and then out of control madman.
Okay.
Where does it stop, Galen? Where does it stop? Where does this madman stop?
That's a fair question. That's a fair
Where
question.
does the appeasement of a madman stop? Because we know from history what happens when you appease a madman and you don't stop him soon enough.
Here's the God's honest truth. There's nobody in the country of Europe who's willing to lose a single life to save Ukraine.
Yet Germany, France, England, they're all lined up. They're all lined up in support of stopping Putin. But you're saying they're not.
Did you hear Merkel today? Did you hear Merkel today? Did you hear Merkel today? They're not committing any military assets to the Ukraine. They're going to back.
Did you hear Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1940? Did you hear Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1940? We're not going to commit any. We're not going to commit any troops or war machines to the cause. But he was shipping boats and tanks to England as quick as he could ship them.
This is why we can't have an honest conversation.
No, because you don't want to say you don't want to admit that history. You don't want to admit that history has. We've already seen this play.
Hold on. You haven't heard me admit to anything yet. I was asking your opinion. And every time I ask your opinion, you go back to World War II.
Because we have a blueprint of a madman run amok.
Okay. Again, we can't. In order for
no,
this
you
conversation
can't.
to work.
You can't. I talked to 4 history professors and one of my best friends who teaches high school history last night. We all agree. We all agree that this is a blueprint of the 1940s.
It's good to see that you talk to only people in your bubble. Again.
Doctorates of history. Just doctorates of history. That's all. Just doctorates of history. Hey, we got to take a break right now. We're up against a hard break.
You're willing to commit 1 million lives, 1 million young men's lives.
We're up against a hard break.
Save Ukraine.
We'll be back. We'll be back at this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. You're listening to WOCA, The Source.